Hello and welcome to another episode of In the Mix presented by CrossBones MMA Radio. I'm your host, John Galloway, and today, as we look at the world of combat sports, I'll be joined by my guest, Alejandro Zea. Alejandro, this is John from CrossBones MMA. How's it going today?
Hey, John, what's up? How are you?
I'm doing great. So, Alejandro, you're going to be fighting December 6th down in Lancaster, Pennsylvania for World Cagefighting Championship, and you're going to be fighting Blaine Shutt at that event. How did this fight come about for you?
I've been in contact with the WCC before, trying to get matched up. My manager, Brian Hamper with Sucker Punch, is the one that set it all up. He took care of me, got me a good matchup. We've been working hard in the gym for a while now, just waiting for the right opportunity, and finally it's here.
Nice. Now, you're fighting out of Maryland, is that correct?
I'm fighting out of Silver Spring, Maryland, Wheaton, Maryland.
All right. So this is going to be, a road trip for you. What's it like going into, somebody else's backyard, so to speak, in order to fight them?
I love it. I love a change of scenery. I've been fighting for a long time. I've been competing internationally for a long time. And going into someone else's backyard has never been an issue. If anything, I kind of find it to be a motivator. You know, I like being the guy that goes in relatively unknown, and I'm definitely not going anywhere to have an issue or make problems. I think that a lot of the time I fight and earn the respect of people, which is all I really am trying to do.
And as far as this fight goes, it's for Cage Fury Fighting. Now, you fought previously for this fight is for a World Cagefighting Championship. You fought previously for Cage Fighting Fury, and you fought for a couple other organizations as well along the way. What's it like going from organization to organization? Is it exciting for you to the different opportunities? Is it something like nerve-wracking, not knowing what to expect from one event to another? What's it like for you?
No, like I said, I really enjoy the traveling. I like new faces. I like new people. And every event kind of has their own system. They have their own rhythm. And falling into those at first is always a bit of a learning curve. But, everybody in the MMA world has always been really open, really friendly. As long as you are professional, you come to the table prepared. You have all your paperwork and your meds done. From there, it's just a lot of fun, man. I like being in front of the camera. I love fighting, and obviously, I always have a lot in common with the fighters. So we always have a good time. Get to meet new people, train in new gyms, things like that. So I enjoy it.
Now, will you come out here early before the fight and get a couple of days in, or will you be traveling the day before?
No, I'll probably be coming up the day before. It's about a 3-hour drive from my house, so it's not that far, to where I really feel I have to settle into the area very much. So no, I'll be coming up. I'll be coming up ready. Hopefully, I won't have to cut too much weight. But depending on that, I guess will depend on how early I get out there.
Now, as you're coming out here for this fight, where are you in your training schedule? Are you in camp? Do you train year round? How does it work for you?
Well, I'm always training. So it's been about 15 years ever since I started training martial arts and wrestling without any actual breaks, long-term breaks. I'm always training. I'm always in the gym. It's what I love to do. It's where I like to be. But we are definitely in a really, really strong camp right now. I was actually planning on fighting November 15th in Shogun Fights, which is out of Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay.
A much closer event for me. But we just had a ton of matchup issues. We couldn't really settle on anything. But one of my main training partners is going to be making his professional debut, so we've been working really, really hard to get him ready. My weight is in a fantastic place. And we've had a really, really tough few months of just really, really hard training. So I'm in a really, really great place right now in terms of conditioning and timing.
And going into this fight as well as your other fights, do you watch film on the guys you're fighting? Do you try to research them? Do you try to focus on what you can control in the fights? How exactly does that work out for you?
Well, the focus, in my opinion, is always on what I'm going to control. So, I know my strengths. I know how to handle my weaknesses, and whenever I'm looking at a fight, I'm never exactly looking at what the other guy has, but I, of course, do watch film. I feel that any professional athlete that says that they just kind of wing it come fight day is a really, really foolish way to look at, your career. So, yeah, we, of course, watch film. I want to see what he thinks he's good at. I want to see where he feels strong at. I want to see where he feels confident at. And I want to exploit those strengths and make them into weaknesses. I feel that a lot of the time in the strategies that I try to place in my fights, beating you where you're good is going to really, really throw you off your game. And that's really what I like to do. I feel that I'm a very versatile fighter. I've been training for a really long time in just about all of the aspects of the sport. And so I really feel comfortable, wherever I am or wherever I'm put. And, just exploiting those weaknesses and really just beating down those strengths is something that has always worked well for me in terms of game plan.
Now, you've mentioned a couple times, and I wanted to get back to it, that you have been around the game for a long time, training for, I believe you said, close to 15 years. Now, what are your roots? Where did you start training? How did you start training? What's your MMA background?
I started wrestling when I was 10 years old. After my first wrestling season, I started doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at Yamasaki Academy, which is owned and ran at the time by Mario Yamasaki, the UFC ref.
Sure.
And his brother, Fernando Yamasaki, is also a UFC referee. I came up through the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world, winning a lot of national championships growing up. I won a gold medal in the Pan American Games as a blue belt when I was younger. Went to Brazil, competed in the World Championships. So I was really, really heavy into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I wrestled all throughout high school and did very well in the state of Maryland. I ended up getting a college wrestling scholarship. And of course, at Yamasaki being, one of the really early American established schools, they've been in the mixed martial arts world pretty much since it started. So from there, I've always been doing Muay Thai. I've always been big on that, and I always trained it. I didn't compete as much when I was younger. I switched over to American boxing about 5 years ago, and I did very well in the Maryland, D.C. Golden Glove circuit before turning pro. And but I'm always going to consider myself a wrestler. I just love wrestling. I love Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So grappling is just something that, even though I enjoy stand-up, it doesn't really have a place in my heart like grappling does.
Now, you are 27, is that correct? I believe that's...
I am, yeah.
And does it... How do you see this playing out for you in terms of career? You're a pro fighter. Now, the ages, used to be, by the time you were 30, you were on the downside of your career. But, people are training smarter, they're training harder and doing it the right way. And those careers are, pushing out into the mid to late 30s. Do you see this as something that you plan on doing for another, 7, 8, 9, 10 years?
In terms of competitive mixed martial arts or professional mixed martial arts, I don't see myself fighting into my late 30s. I definitely am on the ups of my professional career, and I have every aspiration to take it as far as I can go. But no, I've got a great job. I'm a career firefighter in Montgomery County. I love what I do, and fortunately, it gives me a ton of free time to train, to travel, so I can really find a good balance to be able to do them both. I have a great team here, which I can get great training camps, great strength and conditioning coach, great facilities. So I definitely see myself fighting for an extended period of time, but it's not something that I'm really banking on retiring and hoping that I try to, make as much money as possible. I fight because I love fighting. I have a great job and I love my job, but my first love will always be fighting. And no matter what I do, you know, no matter where my life takes me, I always bring myself back to fighting. So, so it's just something that I know I'll always go back to. In terms of the competitive professional sport part, I don't really want to be, you know, old and broken. So I'd rather just stay in my prime, stay healthy, stay strong, and as long as I'm all of those things, I'll continue to fight. Once I start getting past that, you know, I've got no problem just switching over to the coaching and instructing and teaching side.
And with that, who are your current coaches? Who teaches you? What's your camp like?
I am now under Mike Moses at Evolve Academy in Gaithersburg, Maryland. We have a great crop of amateur and professional fighters. Mike Moses himself is a black belt, I believe, under Pedro Sowers now, which is through the Gracie system. Mike was actually a youth coach of mine over at Yamasaki. He started his own place a long time ago, and ever since I decided to make my transition into being a pro, we have the best school easily in this area and far outside of that. Just on my team, we now have 3 professional flyweight, bantamweights. We're going to have a pro lightweight coming soon, and then we've got just all sorts of weight classes in between. And we're very, very heavy in the smaller fighters, which is something that I've always had trouble finding. So I've got tons of great training partners who work really hard. We're a great team, so it's not just, well, if I'm not on camp, I'm not going to be there. You know, everybody is there year-round working, trying to make each other better and trying to make sure that we all represent Evolve Academy every time we step into the cage.
Nice. Now, you are representing a couple other companies as you step into the cage in terms of your sponsors. Who are they? And let's give them a bit of recognition here.
Sure, yeah, I've got some really great sponsors. That I'm fortunate to be able to represent some really great companies. Willow, which is an app that you can download right now at the App Store. It's a really fun social media, dating-type app. It's just a good way to meet new people, have a conversation. They're doing really, really well, and it's because they have a great product and a great idea and a great approach to what is very quickly becoming a pretty played-out scene. Soldier Fit, which around here in Maryland, Virginia, and they're expanding every day too. They run classes. They have beautiful, huge facilities here, and I'm really, really fortunate to have them on my team. I can get strength conditioning work there. I can get anything that I need in terms of my athletic performance. I can always attain at Soldier Fit. KB Creative Services is always my T-shirt sponsors. They take care of my designs. They take care of my printing. Mighty Dog Acai is a food truck for the acai world, which is really growing because of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They put out a great product, delicious product. And Well-Rounded Warrior, which is a clothing company that's started up by one of my friends that's also you can find online, and they have a really great product. And, of course, Sucker Punch, which is my management company through Brian Hamper and Brian Butler. They're great guys. They have all kinds of people that are way, way, way more famous than me. So just the fact that they were, kind enough to give me a shot and to join the Sucker Punch team was something that I was really appreciative of. Still am, of course.
Excellent. Now, what about you personally? If people can't get out there to Lancaster on the 6th to watch you fight, where can they follow you on social media, Facebook, Twitter, those things, to keep up with not only this fight, but your future events, appearances, different things that you have going on?
Yeah, you can follow my athletes page on Facebook, which is Alejandro Zea MMA. I put fight videos up there. I put Throwback Thursday stuff up there for me as a kid, wrestling, and anything that has to do with fights that are coming up, training sessions, whatever, and I really, really like talking to new people. From there, my Instagram is Dro, DRO_Z, where same, I post a lot of videos, I post a lot of pictures, both of fighting and my personal life, because I'm a firefighter, I'm a proud dad, I have a great support system here, family and friends, so I really try to be as versatile as I can in my social media, just so people aren't bored with just pictures of me with no shirt on all the time. And then my Twitter is FF_Zea, so firefighter_Zea. You can follow me there, and I tweet as much as I can too.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap up another episode of In the Mix, presented by CrossBones MMA Radio. I'd like to extend a big thank you to today's guest for joining us. This is John Galloway for Alejandro Zea. We are tapping out.